Hey, you guys, it's Mrs. Leus. Right now it's 11 o'clock. You just came back from your break and now you're watching me teach you another lesson. You guys are going to be working on main idea and details. So go ahead and watch this video so you know what to do. I am just teaching. So you guys just sit back, relax, and learn, okay? You're just watching today. All right, so maybe you guys have heard of main idea before. What is main idea? The main idea of a text is the big idea or most important point of a text. This can be written in a one-sentence summary. What are the supporting details? Supporting details are facts, examples, and details that support or help describe the main idea. So I want you to think of a main idea as a table. The supporting details are the legs that hold up the table. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. So let's do a little bit of a fun activity where we can practice what the main idea is. And then I'll do another lesson. Here we go. So I have some cards here that I'm going to read to you, and we're going to identify what we think the main idea is, and then we're going to find a sentence that doesn't belong. So let me explain that. You guys just sit back and watch. My older sister is already in middle school. She thinks she's really cool, but really she's just obnoxious. She calls my mom mother, and she won't eat macaroni and cheese because she thinks it's messy. When her friends come over, she makes me hide in my room until they are gone. I also have an older brother in high school. Okay, so let's go back. What we're practicing is understanding that when we have something called a main idea. Okay, let's switch back here. Sorry about that. Okay, so again, we're trying to identify what doesn't belong, because when you talk about a main idea in details, you need to make sure that everything is related. So right now, we're just going to practice. Do you see something that doesn't go with the rest of this passage? I want you to take some time and think, which sentence doesn't go with the rest? If you guessed right, it's the last sentence where it says, I also have an older brother in high school. Notice that that sentence does not belong. It has nothing to do with all the other sentences. So we would say that the main idea of this passage is all about someone's older sister being obnoxious. And here are the reasons why she's obnoxious. And then all of a sudden there's a sentence down here about an older brother. That has nothing to do with the main idea. So the answer was, I also have an older brother in high school. That has nothing to do with the main idea. Let's do another one. Okay, so I'm going to read this. I want you to think about what's the main idea and which detail doesn't belong. Hurricanes, also known as tropical cyclones, can be extremely destructive. Hurricane winds blow at least 74 miles per hour and can destroy homes, trees, and cars. Tornadoes also do this. If you know a hurricane is coming, find a safe place away from the ocean to stay. All right, so what's the main idea? The main idea of this passage is all about hurricanes being dangerous. Because we know that's the main idea, which sentence does not belong? So take a moment and find it. The sentence that doesn't belong is right here. Tornadoes can also do this. You don't want this in this main idea passage. It has nothing to do with hurricanes. We're randomly talking about tornadoes. So this sentence doesn't belong because the main idea of this passage was all about hurricanes. All right, I'm going to do one more and then do something else with you guys. All my friends have their ears pierced, but I am terrified to get mine pierced. I used to be scared of lizards too. Ear piercing looks so painful. Even though there are lots of cute earrings, I do not think I will ever have the courage to get my ears pierced. I guess I will wear clip-ons for the rest of my life. So what's the main idea of this passage? The main idea is that she is scared to get her ears pierced. Knowing that that's the main idea, which sentence doesn't belong? See if you can find it. The sentence that doesn't belong is, I used to be scared of lizards too. That has nothing to do with the main idea. All right, you guys, we will do more of these, especially when we get to Zoom during Daily 4 when you're with me, because this is just a great way to practice what main idea is, and that to be sure your supporting details relate to the main idea. You don't want a detail in there that has nothing to do with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and read a passage called Disneyland's First Day, and we're going to identify what the main idea is of the passage. All right, here we go. Disneyland in Anaheim, California is a popular tourist attraction with about 15 million visitors each year. The happiest place on earth, however, was not so happy on the first day it opened back in July of 1955. That day is still known as Black Sunday, as it was perhaps the darkest day in Disneyland's history. A number of unexpected things happened to make it such an unsuccessful first showing. For example, the nearby freeway had a 7-mile traffic jam, and police declared it the worst mess they had ever seen. Fantasyland had to close temporarily due to a gas leak. Many of the rides and attractions broke down with the strain of so many guests. Main Street's asphalted streets softened from the heat, causing women's high heels to get stuck in the gooey tar. A local plumber strike caused a shortage of plumbers, and although the restrooms were finished, none of the drinking fountains were ready. Although Disneyland's opening day was disastrous, Walt Disney and his crew learned from the experience and eventually turned things around to make it a success. Okay, so let's talk about what the main idea was. The main idea is a one-sentence summary of what the passage was mostly about. What was this passage about? It was about Disneyland and the reason why their first day was unsuccessful. So we could summarize that by saying, Disneyland had an unsuccessful first day of opening due to many incidences. So that is how we identify what the main idea is. So that is all for your language arts lesson today. Later this week, you guys are going to do more activities. This is just an introduction on how you identify the main idea. All right, you guys, now that we're done, go back to your schedule and see what you are doing next.